All right, let's talk about something that's practically baked into our culture, the dream of paying off your house. For pretty much forever, it's been seen as the absolute peak of financial success. But what if I told you that this dream, this goal that we all strive for, isn't just a little misguided? What if it's actually dangerous?
Yeah, this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of what we're going to break down. The very thing you think is your ultimate safety net, that house with no mortgage, could be the thing that pulls you under when you hit rough waters. It sounds crazy, I know, but the math behind it is, well, it's pretty eye-opening.
So that's the big question, right? What is the catch? We're going to pull back the curtain on this, look at the real numbers, and show you exactly how your biggest asset could turn into your biggest problem.
Okay, but first, let's get one thing straight. The feeling of owning your home outright, it's incredible. The psychological weight that lifts when you know you don't owe the bank another dime for your home it's a huge deal. And that feeling is absolutely real.
I mean, you can just picture it, can't you? You write out that very last check. Maybe you even empty your savings to do it, but who cares? You've made it. You own it. You go to bed that night thinking you've officially won the game of personal finance. But, and this is a huge but, that feeling of security can be a bit of an illusion.
Because what happens when life doesn't go according to plan? This is where that beautiful dream can turn into a real nightmare really fast. It's something called the liquidity trap, and it is a brutal reality check. This line says it all. It perfectly describes what it's like to be house rich and cash poor. I mean, think about it. You're surrounded by hundreds of thousands of dollars of wealth, but in an emergency, you can't touch a penny of it.
So how does this actually play out? It's kind of like a domino effect. First, maybe you lose your job. Suddenly, no income. Remember that savings account you drained to pay off the house? Yeah, it's gone. So you do the logical thing. You go to the bank for a loan against your house. And what do they tell you? Sorry, no income, no loan. It's the ultimate catch-22. Banks only want to lend you money when you don't actually need it.
And that's the bottom line. All that value, all that equity you spent decades building is completely locked away. You might have a house worth $1 million, but that doesn't help you buy gas or groceries. As one source put it, you can't eat drywall.
So if paying off your house is a trap, what's the move? Well, it all starts with learning to think like the folks who gave you the loan in the first place, the banks. And their secret weapon has a name, arbitrage. Don't let the fancy words scare you. Arbitrage is super simple. It's just making money on the difference between two interest rates. Banks do this all day. They borrow your money in a savings account at like 1%, and then they lend it out as a mortgage at 5%. They pocket the difference. All we're talking about is flipping that script.
And this is where it really comes down to a battle between your gut and a calculator. Paying off your 4% mortgage early, it feels good, right? It's like you're earning a guaranteed 4% return, but it's an emotional choice. You're paying what one author calls a fear tax. The other option, investing that money instead, is the mathematically better choice. You're aiming for a leveraged profit.
Let's run the numbers to make it real. Let's say you've got $100,000 in cash. You could pay down your 4% mortgage, and you'd save yourself $4,000 a year in interest. Feels pretty smart. Or you could invest that same money and get, let's say, a conservative 8% return. That's $8,000 in earnings. The difference between those two choices is $4,000. You're leaving $4,000 on the table every single year.
But wait, there's another character in this story. A secret weapon, really, that most people completely overlook. Inflation. When you have a long-term fixed-rate loan, inflation isn't your enemy. It's actually your best friend.
Just check this out. Your $2,000 mortgage payment, it's fixed. It never, ever changes. But the value of those dollars, what they can actually buy, that shrinks every single year. So that payment that feels like $2,000 today, in 20 years, it's going to feel more like paying $800. Your mortgage literally gets cheaper every month you have.
So think about it. You've locked in a deal to pay the bank back with money that's worth less and less over time. It's a fantastic deal for you. So when you pay that loan off early, you're breaking that deal. You're essentially giving the bank a gift by handing them your valuable dollars today instead of those cheaper dollars in the future.
Okay, so what does this all mean? It means we need to completely redefine what we think of as financial risk. For our whole lives, we've been taught that debt is bad, that debt is the biggest risk. But what if the real danger is something else entirely?
Right, that's the million-dollar question. If owing money isn't the biggest threat to our financial health, then what is? What should we actually be worried about?
And here's the mindset shift, plain and simple.
The old definition of risk was owing people money. The goal was to be debt-free. The new definition of risk is not having access to money when you desperately need it. So the goal isn't to be debt-free, it's to be liquid.
Because liquidity is power. It's your shield. It's what protects you if you lose your job. It's what gives you the freedom to start a business or jump on a great investment opportunity. Cash and access to cash is your real safety net, not just the deed to a house.
All right, now for the part that puts all of this into perspective. I call this the $1 million decision, and I'm not exaggerating. When you see the long-term impact of this choice, the numbers are just staggering.
So imagine you have an extra $1,000 a month. Path A, you throw every penny at your mortgage. You get it paid off in, say, 15 years. You feel amazing. You have a paid-off house and an investment account with $0 in it. Now, Path B, you just make your normal mortgage payments and you invest that extra $1,000 a month in a simple S&P 500 index fund. After 30 years, your house is also paid off, but you also have an investment portfolio worth nearly $2 million. And here it is, the visual punchline. Path A, you end up with a net worth equal to the value of your house, let's call it $800,000. Path B, you end up with that same house plus the $2 million in your portfolio. That's a $2 million difference. That's the price you paid for that peace of mind. I love this final quote because it just sums everything up so perfectly. A paid-off house is a trophy. It looks great sitting on the shelf, something to be proud of. But an investment portfolio, that's an army. It's out there working for you, defending you, and ready to be deployed whenever you need it. So we'll leave you with this question to think about for your own situation. Is your home a fortress that gives you strength and options? Or is it a beautiful golden cage that traps your wealth and limits you when you need flexibility the most? The answer to that question could truly change your entire financial future.